Hello and welcome again to my channel Living by Design. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so please. We've dealt with so many things on this channel already, and today we're going to look at surviving. We've done the purpose of your life. Now I'm going to look at how to survive economically to still stick to that purpose. Everybody has a set income. We can supplement here and there, but generally that income per month is set at a certain amount. Now that amount needs to be budgeted. And for a budget, we can have a look at something like this. Right? We have so many things that we have to cover. And we have the essentials, which are our bare absolute necessities, the utilities. We have our bills that we have to pay, and these are things that we should not take lightly. If I have a bill that is going to affect my life if I do not pay it, that needs to be done first. It says debt before luxury and debt before anything else. Even if I have to eat dry bread, I have to see to my debt first, because we do not know what that person needs the money for. Whether it's a company or just a person, the money needs to go there because that is a commitment that we have made. So when we look at a budget like this, we first isolate our essentials, our bare essentials. And if that is the greater part of my budget, that is where my money has to go, and the rest I could spread around. And things like our luxuries and entertainment, we put on the back burner if necessary. We should not buy anything or put money into anything that we cannot afford at the moment, because we do not know what it's going to be later in the month, later in the year, how it's going to affect us. So let's stick to our budget and see how far we can drag it. And if we cannot supplement our income, we're going to try and reduce our expenditure. For example, our utilities, those are things that are set. My roof over my head, it's either a bond or rental that I need to pay. Otherwise, I'm going to get other people into trouble. Some people get by with the idea that they cannot put me out, even if I don't pay. That may be the law of South Africa, but that is not the law of above. If I owe and I put my head on the ground to pay, I need to pay. Using a law that is unjust to the owner of a specific commodity, whether it is a residence or some item that we are using, we need to pay for it. Having the ability to escape that payment doesn't absolve us from our duty up there. Right? If we have made a commitment, we need to stick to it. Success in life is grounded in integrity and honesty. So if I'm going to enter into a contract knowing that I'm not going to honor the contract, am I an honorable person? We do get people like that, right? So if I can put my head on the ground safely and say, and when I pray and praise the Almighty, I know that I have done my duty to my fellow man. It's not just about sleeping soundly at night. Some people defraud others and they still sleep soundly. Just this morning, somebody tried to get money out of me, posing as my cousin who is in need. And that is how people get by in this world. It is a sick world. Don't be part of that sick world. Try and heal the world with our honesty and our integrity. And that helps others also to survive. That helps others also to meet their own commitments. Imagine I skip my rent for 2 months. What about the person who I'm supposed to pay? Don't they have bills too? Let's see how we can reduce our expenditure. Let's start with paper. Supposing we have a roll towel, and instead of pulling off a sheet at a time and wiping up a small spill, for small spills we can have this hanging somewhere in the house. And when we pull off a small piece, we can cut these into 3, 4, 5 or whatever pieces. And for small spills, this is what we do. And see how much further that roller towel can go. And the same we do with any other paper. Make it go as far as possible. any items that we need to use in the house, see what we can recycle, see what we can make do with. For example, I had a stack of x-rays of years back and I had no clue what to do with it. And I have new cupboards and I wanted to line the cupboards with something durable, something that can absorb stains and things like it. And I thought, why not use those x-rays? I put those x-rays in the cupboards. It is waterproof. We often have oil at the bottom of our cooking oil bottles. And if we put it on something like an x-ray, we can just simply wipe it off. I also even put it next to my sink so that I can put stuff on there and it keeps the surface drier. So whatever I have that is not usable anymore, for example, I have CDs and those CDs are out of fashion. I had no clue what to do with all my CDs. I decorated them and I used them as little coasters. I put it under a hot plate or my cup. Because it's decorated, I can put it out for my guests as well. But when I put the cup on there, I turn it around so that the decorated side says beautiful. Anything that we have in the house that is no longer of any use for its purpose, we can repurpose it. Something else that we've also looked at before is plant whatever you have. We can have community gardens and share what we have harvested with our neighbors. And if we all share and we consult with one another, say, I'm going to plant potatoes, green peppers, somebody else plants carrots, etc., and we share what we have, that also will reduce our expenditure. We can even sell off the stuff that we have instead of just giving it away. Have a little store on the side, or jars that we are no longer using, put soil in there and plant stuff in there, like for example lemon pips, orange pips, whatever you want to plant. If you need containers to plant in, simply put it on a community chat. I'm sure you would get many of those, maybe yogurt tubs or whatever jars that people have, you can plant in and sell it somewhere, give it away as a gift, and then in that way also we reduce our expenditure for gifts. So there are so many ways in which we can reduce our expenditure if we can't boost the income. But these little things we must not underestimate. That 5 or 10 rand that we save or that we get extra by selling a little plant, make it go as far as you can. For the seeds that you are going to germinate, nurture them with the washing water, whether it's the water from the kitchen or the water from the bathroom. Use that water, recycle it. And you can recycle water 3 or 4 times before you actually dump it on the garden. You'll find purposes for it. And you'll find so many ways in which you can reduce your expenditure if you just think about it. And boosting your income, it is not always easy because you need people to buy into it. You need whatever you're making, you need people to buy it, and those are maybe the people who are also battling to survive. So remember, it is debt first before any luxury. Do not buy if you do not have the means to sustain that debt. Even if it is an unforeseen event, then cut down as much as possible on the extras and then simply make do with the basic. Simply make do with the bare minimum, right? It's not easy. It's nice for me to stand here and say it. I've been through it all. If we look at petrol expenditure, we walk sometimes in the morning and they've done nothing but walk. What I do is I walk to the shop instead of driving, and I don't buy a lot of stuff at the time, and I do my walks regularly, get what I need, and I get my exercise. I save petrol, so I don't have gym fees even, because my walking helps me to keep fit. I save on petrol, and I do gym at home, but we don't pay gym fees. So when we look at life, look at where we can, what is essential, what can I do for myself without spending a penny, and then we can take it from there. even my health. There are so many videos on my channel that boost your health. My doctor's bills for the last 30 years, just for infectious diseases, is zero, absolutely zero. I had minor other things. I had one. For that, my doctor's bills were less than 1,000 rand. And I had a knee injury. I had to get an x-ray, and if it was possible, I would directly go to the pathologist to get my x-ray done, but you need a reference from a doctor, so I had to go to the doctor for that. And something else, I do not buy skin creams. I make skin creams. This is just a jar that I use to make it. I use aqueous cream of any type, and if you can look inside here, there's a bit of leaves in there. Those leaves come from the garden. They're rosemary. I put lavender in as well. I grow them. I put aloe in as well from the garden. And so I make my own creams, and in my book I tell you how to make these things and to keep the skin as nice and shiny as this is. And also hopefully wrinkle free. But importantly is that we need to invest in our health in a natural way, not buy all these fancy things. My everyday diet is what keeps my health going, and all these things, again, they are on this channel. So use whatever I have already set out. Use what your imagination, you probably know better than I do. Importantly is know your capacity, know your budget, know your children's needs and the wants, and we try and balance between those. I thank you for watching and wish you all of the best.